Okay, here we go.
So once you
Here we go. Just started. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Right, la la la. Bum 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 ba da da dum bum bum ba da 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 dum bum 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 ba dum bum 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 ba da da dum bum bum ba dum ba ba dum da 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 ba da 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 bum ba da 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 da. Hello, my friends. Good evening. It is Monday night at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and I'm here every Monday night at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. And so I'm here because my name is Joette Calabrese, and we are here to study Materia Medica. We've been doing it for a few years now. We've gone through a number of them in my Materia Medica book, which you may or may not have. Should you be interested, you can contact my office. This is what it looks like. This is what we're going to be studying from tonight on Materia Medica. And this is what we do every Monday because I love teaching you. I love having you here. I love seeing you join me. It's my joy. It's my Monday night joy. And so I see, hello, my mighties. Thank you, Monica. Hi, from Colorado Springs, from Sacramento, says Jean and Judy and Kathy from North Florida, and Rebecca's study group. Hello from Battle Creek. My whole study group is with me. Oh, how fantastic. I love it. I love it. Hello, my dear students. It's great to see you. Let me look on Facebook. Yes, Alice, it's good to be here from Ohio. Hello from Ottawa. Oh, Ottawa. Oh, my goodness. We love you. We love you up there. Honk, honk. In Ottawa, honk, 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 honk. It makes good bedtime reading for me. That's great. Wonderful to see you all. Hello from New York, says Jennifer, and Beverly says Georgia. Mr. Remedy, we're talking about Just Sign Out. We haven't talked about it yet, have not mentioned the remedy yet. And it is a mystery, isn't it? Because I've kind of been bumping around and changing things up a bit. But we're going to be talking about a wonderful medicine for hay fever. And we're doing it a little early this year because I want you to be prepared because it's particularly a good medicine for hay fever in the spring and in the fall. Now, hay fever can come any time of the year, right? It can come depending on where you live, too. It can come in the middle of the summer. It can even come in the winter in some parts of the world. And this medicine has a specific way of dealing with hay fever. It's not just hay fever, here's the medicine. It's not that simple. It's hay fever with a specific presentation. And what does that mean? All righty. It means that it's a certain kind of weather, not just spring and fall, but a certain kind of weather. So the medicine is Dulcamara. It makes me think of Dulcinea from The Man of La Mancha. I don't know why, but every time I hear or think of the word Dulcamara, I think of Dulcinea, and it's the beautiful song sung in Man of La Mancha, a big part of my teenage years. Great play, wonderful play, and wonderful music. So anyway, Dulcamara, it's bittersweet is what it's called, and it has sensitivity to weather, a certain kind of weather. Okay. And that's what I want to emphasize because a lot of times these medicines this is for itching, but it's in a certain way. This is for anxiety, but it's a certain kind of anxiety. And that's what makes homeopathy seemingly complicated, but it really isn't. when we really reduce it down, it makes it very specific then for the suffering, and then we can really hit it right on the nose. All righty. So dulcamara, and it is an important remedy in allergic and also, I might add, herpetic eruptions. Herpes. Yes, my friends. Facial herpes. That's herpes 1. I don't know about herpes 2. I'm not so sure about that. I'm going to be honest with you. I've never used it for type 2 herpes, but certainly for one where it's around the mouth, the nose, the nostrils, around the face, in that area. Okay. Now, here is the key. What kind of weather? It's damp weather. Okay. Either it's damp already or it's on its way to getting damp and the hay fever begins, or there's a change into dampness, or it's coming out of dampness, especially if the dampness is cold. So think spring, think up north, New York, Wisconsin, those states where the dampness is, the spring is damp and cold, yet hay fever begins. That's your dead ringer. That's how you want to consider this. So it's an aggravation from a change of weather, especially when the weather is just shifted into damp and wet and cold, or it is damp, wet, and cold. But the change does have a lot to do with it. So we've got that element of change. Okay, so let me read to you from my Materia Medica, and it is a where are we now? Okay, here we are. Okay, change in weather, and it can be hot days and cold nights. So it doesn't matter that there could be warmth at one point of the day or at night or part of the day at all, as long as there is that cool dampness at some point. Okay. It can be at the end of the summer going into fall. It can be the beginning of, at spring when be going into summer. It can bring on not just hay fever, it can bring on a head cold. So let me also mention to you that head colds and hay fever are easily confused. The symptoms are very, very similar. Okay, you can get very fatigued and even feel almost feverish from hay fever. You can feel as though your sinuses are all plugged up. Hay fever and cold sometimes cannot be differentiated. It can be quite confounding sometimes. So it's great for a sinus headache, whether it's from a cold or hay fever. And it's also sensitivity to these kinds of changes. So what I mean by that is it doesn't bother anyone else, but for this person, when this happens, this change of weather, especially going from one kind to another, where it could be hot and then cold and damp and wet, or it could just be average weather, nothing unusual about it, and it gets cold and damp, that could easily be an opportunity to consider dulcamara if there's a headache, sinus, hay fever, head cold. You see where I'm going with this? So we've got, here is the list of conditions that generally are met, and these are the outcomes. The outcome could be hay fever, a cold, sinus, etc. Sinuses. Also, it could also be a sinus headache when the weather is about to change. So many times people who suffer from this have figured this out. They suffer from lumbago. Anybody ever heard that term? It's a really old time term. And lumbago is pain in the lower back, in the muscles generally. And in the old stories, the old books, they talk about, oh, my lumbago, it means that the weather's changing. Oh, my lumbago, it means that we're going to get wetness. So, we're going to get weather, we're going to get some rain, or it's going to be cold and damp soon. And they can feel that. Now, what do I mean by soon? What I mean is, within a couple of days. We're not talking soon, meaning in 3 weeks. We're talking about, within weather pattern change times that are the usual that we experience. This is also great for joint pains. So it can be arthritis that's worse from cold, damp weather. And it often looks like, if you're familiar with Rhus-Tox, and many of you are, it often looks like Rhus-Tox because it's worse from first movement and better on continued movement. So once the person gets limbered up. And that's all the joints and aches and pains in the cold, damp weather. So it's a great medicine for respiratory. I'm going to now sum it up again. Respiratory, which could be a cold or hay fever. Sinuses, could be a headache. Back pain, especially lower back pain, lumbago. Arthritis. What else did I say? Oh, there can also be a heaviness to this. Why would there be a heaviness? Not unlike what I said a little earlier, that colds and head cold and hay fever can feel so similar, and there can be that fatigue and drowsiness and kind of that beat up feeling, like you just don't want to get anything done. You can't get anything done, and the person could be chilly. Let's see what else we've got here. There could be coughing. Let's see. Pain in the small of the back, and icy cold feet. It's not something I see very often, the icy cold feet business, but the symptoms are often worse at night. So I want you to kind of watch from the cold in general, from the cold and damp and rainy weather. And the person feels better from movement and warm or sunny weather. So once the dampness is gone, and the sun comes out, the person feels better. And it could be that it's the lumbago that's better, arthritis that's better, sinus pain that's better, sinus condition. The cold is better. The hay fever is better. These are all different people, you see. It's not all one person experiencing all of this. But I'm giving you all the circumstances, okay? Let us see what questions here. Let's try to keep the questions related to this condition, please. Yasker's Homeopathic Dictionary. Yeah, that's where you find words such as lumbago. It's very, very interesting to do that. All right. Now, what potency would I use? I would use most likely a 30 for an acute. Now, what's an acute? That's when we get a cold, right? And it's you could use a 200. I most frequently use the 30s and the 200s, sometimes 6s, and occasionally 1Ms, occasionally, very occasional 10Ms, not for this medicine, but for other conditions. So I would like to stay close to the idea of it being a 30 to a 200. Now, if it's hay fever, I might use 30 2 times a day. If it's a cold, I might use 30 3, 4 times in that day and keep going with it until we see relief. Sometimes if it's really bad and we wake up and, oh my gosh, things are really bad and the sinuses are painful and the weather is obvious that it's damp and cold and the sinuses are bad. It could be a cold. It could be hay fever. I might use Dulcamara in a 30 every 15 minutes for the first hour. And then after that hour, now I start using it every few hours. But when do we stop? We stop when it acts, when it feels better. When the person feels better, then we stop. Then if it comes back again, what do? We resume. We start it up again. And then you're going to look at, I stopped at 1 in the afternoon and I was fine all the way until about 4. Now I need it again. So from 1 until 4, that means it gives you about 3 hours. So that means I should probably be taking this every 3 hours. Okay? Let's see if we've got anything else here that I want to make sure that I have covered here. There are skin conditions involved in it. It's not what it's known for. It's mostly known for headaches and the sinuses, etc. But it can also come from suppressed skin conditions. What's a suppressed skin condition? Well, if you've been to a doctor It's been suppressed, my friends, because steroids or ointments or something like that has been used. Oh, here's another thing: ailments from drafts. Now, you wouldn't think of a draft as something that you could get sick from. You could get your hay fever might blossom, or you might catch a cold. But no, it is very important to consider this from drafts. So, what is a draft? A draft could be cold air blowing on you from the air conditioning in the car. Everyone else is warm in the car. They want the air conditioning on. The person has cold air blowing on them. And lo and behold, they get a headache or they get sinuses or something like that. There can also be, I just want to mention this because I think it's kind of interesting. And it's particularly useful for people who have cat allergies. Now, what do I mean by cat allergy? Well, it's specifically useful for cat allergies when it shows up in the sinuses, right? Like a hay fever. So it's the hay and the cat that could do it, or it's just the cat. Yes, people are talking about calibicromium, and calibicromium is also a very good medicine for sinuses. And I find that calibicromium is very specific in this way. Calibicromium is often pain that starts over the left eye or between the eyes. And there's pretty extreme pain, and the mucus is stringy or ropey, and it's on stooping to pick up a paperclip or something. Different, isn't it? It's different than dulcamara because dulcamara is very specific, damp, cold, right? Change of weather, right? Whereas calibicromium is very specific with barometric change that shows up here or here. Different. It's just different. Barometric pressure change is a different thing than dampness. Now, does it mean that it can't be a barometric pressure change that stimulates a dulcamara headache? No, it does not mean that. It certainly could be that. But what you want to do is kind of build your case for on one remedy, the calibicromium, or for the dulcamara. And if you're lost and you don't know what to do, and they seem equally as compelling, guess what you do? Let's see. Tell me, ladies and gents. Yep. Tell me. That's while you're doing that. One cold, damp fall a few years ago, my family came down with a stomach bug with horrible body aches. Dulcamara was the only remedy that I had on hand to address the body aches, even though it wasn't quite right for the illness we were experiencing. It worked beautifully for the body aches. Yeah, because it's like, as I said, lumbago and joint pains, etc. Yes, this is an easy remedy to overlook. Yes, it is. Thank you for mentioning that. Great summary of this remedy. Many thanks, Joette. You're welcome, Lisa. Take both, says someone. Try it and see. I go more for try it and see. I wouldn't take both. It doesn't mean you can't ever do that. Listen, if somebody is in really serious situation and you don't know if you should use arnica or aconitum, yes, you could use both. I would wait a few minutes and see if one acts and then go get the other one. No, I would not use both. I would use one, choose one, stay with it, give it the every 15 minutes method for the first hour, then see how it goes. And if nothing comes of it, then yes, indeed. Now go to the next one. Yes, says Rachna, go with one, and if it doesn't work, go with the other. Exactly. Yeah, look at the remedy picture, says Kathy. Absolutely. And how do you look at the remedy picture? You go to your materia medicas. Not one. I want you to have a few materia. If you're serious about this, you ought to own more than one materia medica, my friends, because there are many ways to look at all of this. Let's see if I can get some more questions here. Let's see. You're very welcome. You are very welcome. Let's see if I can open this up a little bit further. I'm always so afraid with Facebook that if I do something wrong, that I'm going to mess it up. All right, let's get back to some of these other questions. All right. Pick one and try it for 4 to 6 doses. Yeah, that's the way to go. Yep. One cold, damp. Yes, good. Cold and damp. So for those of you who live in cold, damp weather, this is an important remedy to understand. Now being in Florida, I don't have to think about it so much unless it is a situation where it's in the air conditioning. You want me to do it again so I can?
Picture. No, on the picture.
Yeah, well, we're right here. We've got it. Okay. Let's see if we can get more questions in here from Facebook. Okay, here we go. That might do it. Yep, that might do it. We just got to keep double clicking, I guess, huh? All right. Yes, so this is the way I want you to learn homeopathy. And this is the way I did it. I raised 3 very rambunctious, busy boys on a small farm. So the first remedies I needed to know about when I was first learning homeopathy, when I had only one child, was I needed to know remedies that are used for accidents, for injuries, right? I wanted to know what happens if he steps on a nail, what happens if he falls out of a tree, what happens if he sprains an ankle. What are the medicines I need to know for him? Then when I had my second child, it just doubled it. And when I had my third, we were very busy with extremely outdoorsy boys constantly getting into things. So I needed to know, what are the medicines for injuries? Here's the list of the medicines. This is what I need to own. Then my next thought was, okay, now that I know those and own those, now let's go to the next thought. What is the medicine for, because one of them would get an ear infection. Okay, what are the medicines for ear infections? Okay, not just one. I want to know the top 5 medicines for ear infections. And then what do I want to do? I want to own them. Okay, not only own them mentally, intellectually, but I also want to own them in my kit. Okay, what's the medicine that is specific for food poisoning? Let's own them. Let's learn them and own them. The top 5 medicines for food poisoning. And my mother had arthritis. What are the top remedies for arthritis? I asked myself. I will learn those and own them. So that's how you do it. Don't start with the obscure. Start with the practical. That's what this is, practical homeopathy, right? It's very important that you have a handle on this. And so when I teach something that sounds like it's irrelevant in your life, at least for now, put it aside. Keep it for a while and organize your thinking and your education and your acquisition of medicines according to your needs. And then you start expanding outward until you've got a wonderful array of beautiful medicines. Yes. Yep. I'm 69 and I still carry aconitum and arnica, and gifted them to my daughter-in-laws who are raising sons. That's the way to go. You've got to have aconitum, arnica when the kids are young. Yes, absolutely. No need to try to antidote medicine if you only antidote a medicine if you're in a chronic, you're working on a chronic case. And even then it's not absolutely necessary that you antidote it, because the best antidote, my friends, is the right medicine. You choose the right medicine and you don't even have to think about antidoting. Okay. No, you do not use camphor in between. Camphor really, for the most part, should be used for one day. One dose one day, then you have to wait till the next day. You've lost a whole day if you use camphor in between, right? You want to go from, okay, Dulcamara didn't act, I think I'll look at calibicromium. You do not use camphor and then wait another day. It's not the best method. All righty. And let me just take a sip of my water. I line up the ones I think will work and try them singly every half hour and make notes. I line the ones I think will work and try them singly every half hour. I don't know. I mean, tell me, has that worked for you? The way that I look at it is sometimes a remedy takes longer than a half hour to act. And so if you're only giving it 30 minutes and then you're going to give the next medicine, you may have lost the opportunity of knowing that the first one acted. You're already on to the second one, and then you won't know. Now, look, in a pinch, there's nothing wrong with using something to get by, nothing serious. But you want to know what medicine acted. Why? Because if this happens again, unless an accident and it's unusual. But if this happens again to this person or anyone you know, but especially this person, guess what's going to work again? The one that worked now. So you want to know what it is. You want to keep a record of it. Very likely that the medicine that acted today, if that same condition appears in that person in 2 months, it's going to be the same medicine. Often, not always, but it's a good start. It's a good way to start thinking, gee, it does look like Dulcamara again, doesn't it? So I don't know that I would do it quite like that. You want to give it a little more time. Sometimes a medicine can take an hour, 2 hours. Okay. All right. Maybe only initially if you've had other meds from mainstream. Okay, I don't know. That must be a conversation going on. All righty. Thank you. You're welcome. Is it deep acting enough to uproot it? Or is it used more like an SOS? SOS does not mean you can't uproot. Absolutely, you can uproot. There's no doubt about it. I told a story about a time years ago when I was first learning homeopathy, and I used to get tremendous sinus headaches, horrible headaches every time the barometric pressure changed. Not when it was damp and cold, just the barometric pressure change. And I lived on the Great Lakes, and there was always a barometric pressure change, and the pain was tremendous. And I knew to use Kelly bicromium, but I didn't know how often to use it. So I bicromium 30, and a couple hours later, I think I needed another dose. I took a dose 2 hours later, and I got relief. And I was getting these headaches at least 3 times a week, and they were pretty debilitating. So after having taken those 2 doses, maybe it was 3 doses that one day, I didn't have another barometric pressure change, sinus pain, headache for months instead of a couple times a week. When again, I took it again. That was about 1988, maybe, something like that. I've never had a sinus headache again. And I've had them for years. So will it act deep enough? You bet it'll act deep enough. It uprooted it. It's gone. I've not had it since. 30 some years ago. We're talking about 20, 30, 40 years. 40 years ago. These medicines are, how shall I say, what's your perception about homeopathic medicines and their ability, particularly compared to what we've had to put up with for synthetic drugs, right? What have we had to put up with? They are, I'll wait till you start telling me what these medicines are. I call these God's medicine. The sound is getting glitchy. Yes, I get sinus barometric headaches. They hurt so much, so badly. I gag and heave. Kelly bicromium, wonderful. Yes, no side effects. You got it. I love this Rolodex idea. Oh, somebody's talking about ideas on how to keep these. Homeopathy is so safe and effective and inexpensive. And thank you, Francine. It's polite. They're polite medicines. They don't slam you across the face with side effects and synthetic garbage so that now your liver has to process. Affordable, no side effects. Uproot instead of driving condition deeper. Oh, you've got it, ladies and gents. You've got it. You have got it. Absolutely. What about headaches going from low elevation to higher ones? A whole different remedy. We won't talk about it today. But don't look at elevation as much as where is it presenting. Even though the weather and the conditions can affect it, look at where it's presenting and look at it from that point of view. Although there are those having to do with elevation, they are effective, these medicines, aren't they? They don't suppress, says Tracy. I think I've got students here, haven't I? They are effective. They don't suppress. They're God's medicine. It means that for every substance on this earth that God put on for was for our use, including the toxic substances. Poison ivy, it's a great medicine. It's great for chicken pox. It's great for, yes, chicken pox. It's great for arthritis. It is, how about lead? Some of the most toxic metals. Yep. Lead is great for terrible constipation. Absolutely. And so you can give these medicines to the elderly. You can give these medicines to infants, newborns, pregnant women. You've got it. They're the medicines you thought you were getting when you went to the doctor. That is that is completely so, Michelle. Yeah, because you thought when you went to the doctor you were going to be cured, right? Oh, silly all of us. Bingo, Michelle. You bet. Thank you, my friends. It is now 8:31. I have to dash off to a Gateway group. If you're not, if you've never joined a Gateway to Homeopathy group, I urge you to do that. That's where you're going to learn a great deal. It's going to get you started on your journey to study homeopathy and know it. And we need this now more than ever, my friends, don't we? Who can we trust? Tell me, who can we trust? Can we trust the government? Can we trust the Canadian government? Can we trust the American, the Australian, New Zealand government? Who can we trust? Can we trust the pharmaceutical industry? That's why we are all here. It is up to us because there's no hidden agenda in learning homeopathy. There is no big industry. These medicines cost $8, sometimes $12, depending on what potency they are. Can't go wrong. God love all of you. God bless you. See you next week. Mwah. Love you. Take care. And stay curious.